Welcome to Target 41, dividing polynomials by synthetic division in Polydoku. If you want to see more details of this, you can watch the video on Target 40 as it further explains this process as well. In this case, for this question, we've got 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 and it crosses at 1. That means 1 is one of the roots. So if I need to find all three answers to the equation without a calculator, I know I've got 1 and then I need 2 more. To find the other two roots, one method is synthetic division, so I know 1 works. I put that in the root box. Then I take each of the coefficients, 2, 3, -8, and 3, and I bring down the 2. And that's the setup work. I need to fill in the root, I need to write all the coefficients, and I need to bring down the leading coefficient. Then my job is to multiply, add, multiply, add. 2 times 1 is 2, add, I get 5. 1 times 5 is 5, add, I get -3. -3 times 1 is -3. This is my remainder box. Woohoo! It's 0. Therefore, my equation was a cubic. It's now an x squared because I divided it by an x term. X cubed divided by x makes x squared. So this is plus 5x minus 3. So 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is another factor that I can use quadratic formula on. So I put that in quadratic formula on my calculator with the 2, 5, and -3. And I go like this. Program, quad form, 2, 5, -3, and there are my other two roots, being 0.5, or as in 1/2, and -3. So 1/2 and -3 would be my other two roots. Now, the other way to do this is Polydoku. The setup is very similar to that of synthetic, where you have kind of 3 things to do. First thing is I'd put down x plus 1, because I know 1 was, x minus 1. If 1 is a root, then it had to come from x minus 1, because this is 1. X minus 1 is what it came from. And then I can set up my generic rectangle, go like this, and on the bottom, I like to draw an extra line to show that that's what I'm setting it equal to, is this whole entire equation. So then that's 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3. And then I put the first number in the first box, so 2x cubed goes there. That's the setup. You put the factor that goes here on the side, you fill in the first number, and you put the whole equation at the bottom. Do those 3 things, and then just fill in the rest of the generic rectangle. So 2x squared would have to be on top, because 2x squared times x makes 2x cubed. Again, multiply there, you'd get 2x squared negative 2x squared. I'm looking for a positive 3x squared. So this box would have to be 5x squared, because 5 minus 2 is 3. Then if that's the case, there's a 5x up top. And then if that's a 5x up top and I've got a -1 here, that makes -5x. I'm trying to get to -8x, which would mean that this would be -3x. These upon these diagonals make this number. Diagonal, diagonal, make that number. Diagonal, make that number. And then this number's alone. And here, if this is a -3x, then that hat up top had to be -3. So -3 times x makes this work. Then if -3 times -1 makes +3, and woohoo, I get a match in this corner. So that tells me this is what I need to put in to the quadratic formula. So again, the process is you need to do the setup. The stuff that's shown in yellow is your setup. And then after that, for this one, you multiply the number in the box times the number below the line, and then you add going down. Multiply, add, multiply, add. And you want to get a remainder 0 over here in this corner. And this one is set up. Polydoku sets up where you put the big equation down here, and then diagonals have to make those work, but you put this first number in the box, and then you fill in the top and all the remaining empty spots in the box to get the other parts. And then you just take those other parts and put them in quadratic formula to figure out the other 2 remaining roots.